And it's now time for the fastest 2 minutes in all of sports. We've got Gabe McDonald, we've got Grace Grill, and we've got 2 minutes on the clock. So let's get this thing going. Grace, Hornets guard Terry Rozier said after last night's loss that the team will call a players-only meeting. Is this the right thing to do?
Absolutely. I think somebody's got to call a meeting. And I mean, Steve Clifford can only do so much. At some point, this has to be player-driven, because if you watch those guys play, they look like they don't even want to be out there.
All right, Gabe, after watching Bobby Slowick and Ben Johnson over the weekend, who stood out the most?
This is a tough one because they both look pretty darn good, but I would have to say Slowick. I mean, just what they were able to do against the Browns, the top-ranked defense in all of football. C.J. Stroud, Will, and Dillon out there, the guys look really good. He will certainly be on somebody's team. That's not the Texans. He'll get a job this cycle. It's just a matter of where it is, but he looked really good this weekend.
All right, Grace, with all the interviews starting to pop up for Coach Evero, do you see him staying in Carolina?
I think this is going to depend on who you bring in with head coach and GM, because I do think after this last coaching debacle, you really do need to let those guys bring in their own guys. But it would, no matter what, it's a loss for Carolina because I think he's excellent at his job.
For sure. Gabe, of the teams left, what team would be the most surprising to see in the Super Bowl in a couple of weeks?
The team that just won a few minutes ago, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, we all thought that they were going to be tanking this year. You had a quarterback competition between Kyle Trask and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield on a prove-it deal. He goes out there, has the best season of his career. They were dominant tonight. If they make a run, that would be insane. Either way it goes, he's due for a big payday. Really happy for the guy, but I would be very surprised if they make it. But the matchup with Detroit is going to be a big one next week.
Yeah, beat down on the Eagles, my goodness. All right, Grace, the weather in Buffalo has been absolutely crazy over the weekend, even today. What's the coldest game you've ever covered?
Gosh, I'm from Pennsylvania, and I started my career in Maryland. I'm gonna say the one that I remember is 2020 high school 4A state championship, Linganore High School. It was at the Naval Academy, so you had all that. It was negative something. It was awful.
All right, Gabe, Machine Gun Kelly will perform at NASCAR's LA Clash at the Coliseum. Where would you rate this on a scale from 1 to 10? A goose egg? That's not even.
It's not. His punk rock the air. I'm not a fan. I enjoyed him when he was coming out 2010, 2011. He was spitting. I don't know what he's doing now. They need to get somebody that's actually born. We had Ice Cube the first year they had the Clash. Give us somebody like that knows LA, that loves the spot. MGK. I just don't know.
We have struck a nerve in Gabe McDonald tonight. All right, well, we mentioned the weather in Buffalo.